hard to contain your excitement when you get something you've really wanted. Like the gold standard in automotive protection, WeatherTech floor liners. With deep sculpted channels and laser measured for total protection in the front, back, and even up the sides.
Dad, you're going viral.
What? WeatherTech me.
So don't be shy, enjoy. Order your premium American-made products at WeatherTech.com.
Experience the ultimate thrill, Porsche GT Track Day, where passion meets performance on some of North America's most legendary racetracks. Designed exclusively for Porsche owners, this is your chance to unleash the full potential of your vehicle in a motorsport environment. Drive the same circuits as professional racers, on the same weekend as Porsche Sprint Challenge events. Where will your Porsche take you? With limited space, every Porsche GT Track Day ensures a premium, exclusive experience. You'll get nearly 3 hours of track time, starting with reconnaissance laps, progressing through lead-follow sessions, and culminating in exhilarating open laps. Plus, strap in for heart-pounding hot laps with a professional race driver.
I thought I was fast. Didn't resemble anything that I've ever done.
Beyond the track, immerse yourself in VIP hospitality, premium viewing areas, and exclusive paddock access, where you can witness Porsche Sprint Challenge teams in action. Spots are limited. Scan the QR code now to reserve your place at Porsche GT Track Day.
We're here in fantastic Austin, Texas. And Joey, when they say everything is bigger in Texas, they really mean it.
They really do, including this fantastic facility, FIA Grade 1, 20 turns, known as the Circuit of the Americas.
And the Porsche Sprint Challenge North America is going to be tackling it today. So let's see how they do. We've got Scott Blend of Ruckus Racing. Scott, you've started to earn the nickname of the Iron Man. You did every race of the weekend back at Sonoma, and you're doing it again here at Circuit of the Americas. What pushes you to try that?
You know, I just want to maximize this track time. You know, I'm here, I might as well do it. I've got the energy to do it, so you know, it just and every time I do, I just get a little better every session. You know, so that's the goal. Is just to keep improving.
I know there's the obvious difficulties that come with it, but what are some of the other things that you have to be concerned with when trying that over a weekend?
So, of course, this weekend the heat is brutal, but when it's hard on the team, to get the cars ready, and it's always back to back on the cars and qualifying, and so you have to have kind of two separate crews, running the each car. So that, I think, it's the timing and just everybody being in sync and everybody being ready when it's time to go.
Is there anything this weekend that you found out from doing it at Sonoma that you think will help you?
Yeah, I think we've learned a lot out on track with the pit strategies, and I think you all know we fall back early, but at the end things seem to be working out well, and we're there at the end and fighting for that podium. So yeah, just a little bit of track. We're going to miss Mike Johnson this weekend. He's not here. He's really good on the box. But no, it's just we get a little better each time with our timing, with our prep, with our execution, and I think that's what we were learning is how to improve on that.
Well, best of luck. Drink lots of fluids,
yes,
and hopefully we'll see you on the track.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
This town ain't big enough for two winners, or is it? We'll see if someone can beat Scalzo as we get ready for the Porsche Sprint Challenge North America Cayman Series. I'm Joe Peak, and with me in the booth is Roush Racing driver Joey Atterbury, along with Carrera Cup North America driver Ashley Freiberg. Race 2 is only a few hours after the first one, Joey. Who learned what?
Yeah, it's after lunch here, so the drivers have got a full belly. They were able to go back, review data, review some video, and learn some new things for race number 2. But let's take a look at where we are located right here in Austin, Texas for Circuit of the Americas. Couple key areas to note. Turn number 1, Big Red, going to be very, very, very busy on lap number 1. And then turn number 11, we've seen quite a bit of action go down there, trying to posture yourself to get that run out onto the back straightaway. And then the stadium section, turn number 15. With all the heat that we've seen today, the cars are really sliding around on those slow speed sections. And then turn number 20, Andretti turn to finally round out the lap here.
You can see we're all ready to go, so let's go through the starting grid. Jens Hansen on the pole for race 2 with Lonnie Unser to his outside. Then it's going to be Dan Ammon, our pole sitter for the Cayman Masters, and third overall. Anna Checki will be starting next to him. Row 3, we'll see Bill Pelichewski starting in the 5th position. From there, Elaine Scalzo all the way down in 6th. Didn't have a good second lap out on his qualifying. Erica Hoffman starts in 7th as Tom Kopczynski will be 8th. That takes us to row number 5, where Griff Osplund is going to be starting in 9th, and Greg Checki will be starting in 10th. Then you've got Joe Rizzo in 11th today. Bill Finnick will be starting from the 12th position. And then after them, in 13th, it'll be Reinhold Kranz and Spencer Proper in 14th. Paul Bonderson will start 15th today, with Khalid Edu starting in 16th, Tom Kerr 17th, and then, of course, Reggie Tartaglione starting 18th today. And not sure if we'll see Leco on the track, as he is showing gridded up. So as we get ready to go, lined up, Ashley, what do you think the drivers picked up?
Oh man, I think the start of this race is going to be intense. I know I spoke with Lonnie after race 1, and she has a really good mindset going into race 2 here, so I am sure she's going to try to go for that overall win. And then you've got that Masters driver in between her and Checki, so I'm sure Checki as well is going to try to make her way forward. So we know how turn 1 goes. I think ultimately the drivers just have to get through clean.
Yeah, Unser, Checki, and Aman have all been looking for their first win this season. In some cases, first win of their career here in Sprint Challenge. All right, getting ready for the start, almost to that green flag, and it looks like, yes, we have taken the green. They are underway up into turn 1 at Big Red. Question is, are we going to get through clean? As often we can see as many as 4 or 5 wide. It looks like 3 wide at most. Oh, and somebody gets absolutely bowled into at the back of the field. About 3 or 4 cars collected.
Yeah, so unfortunate, but look towards the front of the pack. I see that Lonnie Unser was able to escape in that second place position, and I see that Anna Checki has slotted into that third place. Yeah, we had a little bit of a catastrophe at turn number 1. Look further back in the midfield, always avoiding those big orange sausage curbs at the apex there. You got to be careful of the tire bundles. Now we're single file.
Yeah, I think that was Osplund in the orange car going a little wide there, and then Bill Finnick also trying to give way and make sure that he doesn't trip over anybody through the S's. We're already up into turn 10, and Ammon losing a couple positions, but that is from Pro-Am drivers. He's our leader in Masters. Bill Pelichowski, the one behind him, is the one he's got to worry about.
Let's see this entire field go through turn 11 and accelerate out onto the back straightaway. And if I'm noticing anything, I think that was Fennec maybe a little bit wide on the exit back there, but Lonnie has made up a ton of time. She was quite a bit further behind going down into turn number 11, but now she is right in that slipstream, call it about a half second back from our leader.
Some technical gremlins in race 1 for Lonnie Unser. Took her out after she was vying for the class win over there, and obviously picking up right where she left off and putting the pressure on to Jens Hansen to see if she can beat him, with Anna Czecki just behind, sitting in third. Ammon in that red, white, and black machine is our leader in the Masters, as I mentioned. And then, of course, the sort of pink and white car that we've got there is the car of Bill Pelichowski. Finishing up the first lap of our 35-minute plus 1 lap race. And thankfully, Ashley, other than that initial kerfluffle at the start, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, this is actually a great start to this race because the top 3 in both of the classes are kind of in their own battles, so there's not much of intermingling at this moment. So everyone's able to kind of focus on their own race, looking forward here. Obviously, we've got Lonnie with her eyes on Jens here, but also Anna. She tried to make a move there on Lonnie into turn 2 on lap 1, so I'm sure she's also going to try to learn as much as she can with these front 2 drivers and try to make it a 3-car battle.
So Paul Bonderson and Tom Kerr, who look to be involved in that opening incident, are stopped somewhere, but they have not thrown the yellow, so they must have been able to move them to a place of safety, at least for the time being. And we stay racing with 16 cars still out on track. Look at the gap to Anna already, 1 lap in. They're a second and a half of time up the road. Ooh, is that... Yeah, that's Scalzo already onto the podium. Man, he's wasting no time there.
Yeah, still sitting in that 6th place overall, but 3rd place in the Masters. And just to talk about familiarity, Anna Czecki usually takes a few laps to kind of get everything warmed up and up to speed, and then she really kind of unleashes her race pace. That's what we saw a little bit earlier today. So I wonder if we're going to see a repeat of that here this afternoon. But once again, in Sector 2, Lonnie Unser is just absolutely destroying the track. She is actually closer to Hansen this time down the back straightaway.
And remember, we saw her at times very close and often faster than Jens Hansen in that first race. The only reason that she didn't wind up second was because of the technical problems that took her out and forcing a defensive line already down into turn 12, trying to cut back. Lonnie has her sights set on that lead early in this race. Forced to the outside at turn 13. She'll have to try again later.
I think she had a little bit more braking performance than Hansen going into turn number 12. She's looking to the inside, forcing our leader, that defensive move through turn number 15. Let's see if she can capitalize. Actually, a really nice corner from our black number 12 out front. He was able to not only pinch off the entry, but was actually able to accelerate out of that corner, which isn't always easy to do when you compromise the first half.
Yeah, this is a completely different game for Jens as well compared to race 1 because he had a car in between him and Lonnie. So now he's got Lonnie right on his tail. So you could see he's feeling the pressure. He's looking in his mirrors quite a bit. So Lonnie's probably just learning what she can here in the places where he's a little bit stronger and try to capitalize. And hopefully he makes a mistake somewhere.
She is still looking for that first ever win in the Porsche Sprint Challenge, and has come very close this season multiple times already. A little bit of a slide coming out of turn 1. Things still incredibly close back there for the Masters lead as well. Saw them just about nose to tail coming off of turn 1 down into 2.
I just checked the ambient temperature here. It is up another 5 degrees from the GT3 Cup race we had just before lunch. So 95 degrees is what the air temperature is here in Austin, Texas. The drivers inside these cars, it is well into the triple digits. You know, they're going to be running cool shirts or air conditioning. And Joe, I think that you were actually talking to one of the drivers. That AC, it can actually cost you a little bit.
Exactly. It seems that if you need to stay comfortable in the car, you might have to sacrifice a few tenths over the course of a lap based on the power that it takes up from the engine. But what you might lose in that overall lap time, you could gain back in consistency.
So down the back straight one more time. A pretty even gap between first, second to third right now. Really good laps from Jens Hansen this time out. Sector 1 purple, Sector 2 purple as well, while Lonnie was only able to set a personal best Sector 1. Look at this move going down into turn number 12. Let's see if they both get stopped at apex. Room being given for both of those cars. It seems like Pelichewski is up past Ammon.
So he's going to be our new leader in the Masters category. A forceful move to get himself through there. Scalzo giving watch. No, I'm sure that he wants to try and get back up into that top step himself after taking victory in the first race in that Masters class. So already seeing some swapping, at least in one of the leads, but Unser last time by about 1.3 seconds off, so she's lost just a little bit than what she had before.
Just a touch out there, but I think it's all about settling into that rhythm. And Ashley, you could probably talk a little bit about that. Once the warm-up phase is done, then you finally got the race car to last you the end of the race.
Yeah, for sure. It's really important during that pace lap that you get your tires up to temp, the pressure's up, as well as your brake temp up. So if you were off a little bit and your competitors got it up a little bit sooner, that can make you a little bit weak on that first lap. So Lonnie looked super strong there on that start of the race. I'm sure she had her temperatures up. And now that we're settling in here, even though there's a little bit of a gap, you just never know what can happen in races like this. As we saw, it's really, really hot. Cars are sliding around. It's also a big test to the driver physically. We saw some drivers getting super dehydrated and really hot in our last GT3 race, so you just never know what can happen. She's just going to hang in there and stay consistent.
I'm loving these in-car camera shots. You're seeing how aggressive these drivers have to be over all of those apex curbs. You see she's pretty much straddling those orange bread box curbs, and then down the hill. It is an elevation change down into turn number 11 here, and look at how wide the entrance gets. You can't cheat your way over to that apex. She nails it perfectly, stands on the gas.
And off down the back straightaway they go. Look at the gap back to Anna as well. It's up to 3.5 seconds now. Clearly the pace is in the 12 and the 4 car here in race number 2. Looks like stewards are looking at the incident between Kerr and Bonderson at the start of the race. No surprise on that one, but we'll let you know if there is anything, as we have a full course yellow. Now,
I'm not sure where it is, Joe, but I do see full course yellow. We see it on the ticker. We see it on timing and scoring. So I assume that we do have a yellow flag on the racetrack, and just from the in-car shots, Lonnie is also well off of the gas right now.
So, trying to see.
Looks like the car went off in turn 2.
Well, that says 43 and 74. Those are the two involved a little bit earlier. So, and I mean, that would have been almost 10 minutes of racing. I don't think they would throw it for them if they had been off track for that long. But this is a strange one. We're trying to see if we can find who is stopped on track.
Yeah, and one thing that now I'm guessing, purely guessing, is that if we did have a car stopped over there, but it might have still been on the racetrack somewhere, maybe if the driver got out. Is that Henry Marshall, maybe? That is a black, white, and red Cayman. And is there a little bit of front right damage on it? I can't quite see it that well.
Maybe it is the cars that were involved in that one, because there's 2 there, and I'm pretty sure one of those is Bonderson. So maybe it was initially thought that they were in a good spot, but you can see it's kind of poked out around the barrier, so just weren't happy that it wasn't as far off the racing line as maybe they would have wanted. Definitely an unusual one that will pause it well after the incident. And this will bring everybody back into it, especially the others, Ashley, that were involved in that opening incident, either trying to avoid it or just maybe getting kind of turned slightly and lost time to the cars ahead.
Yeah, it's unfortunate if, some of the drivers had a bit of a lead here before the yellow flag, but there is still a lot of race left. So this yellow flag can certainly add some more drama to the mix as we go back to green. But thankfully, both of those drivers pulled off to the side there, and they're in that nice opening, so that hopefully this gets cleaned up quickly.
Ashley, maybe you can kind of describe what Lonnie is doing here. You look at the brake and the throttle. Is she just kind of keeping the temperature, keeping everything up right now?
Yeah, for sure. So like we were talking about at the start of the race, it's really important on that pace lap that you have your tire temps up, your tire pressures up, as well as your brake temps. So I find, and I'm sure Lonnie's doing this right now as well, you get the most out of the tire by heating it up with your brakes. So not necessarily sliding the tire laterally too much, just building that brake heat so that it builds the temperature within the wheel well and then through the tire.
Yeah, that's perfectly explained. And, you know, a lot of times when you see those cars swerving left to right, yes, it is increasing the temperature and increasing the pressure, but it's more cleaning the surface of the tire. What Ashley was just describing, the brakes, they produce an immense amount of heat. All of that heat, it is going to raise those tire pressures inside that tire, exactly what the drivers need for those operating temperatures.
We were on board with Pelichewski, our leader in the Masters, for a brief while. If you've been watching this week and you've heard us mention that he's kind of been away from racing for a couple rounds this season because he was involved in a very early accident on the first race at Sebring, the very opening round, rolled the car, and obviously his weekend was done after that. Well, we didn't get to see him at Sonoma, so he has brought the new chassis here to Texas and has not lost any speed. Now, this wouldn't be his first time to get a victory if he does manage to do so. I believe it was VIR that he had had at least one last season here in the Caymans for the North America Series, but would love to see him back on the top step if he can bring this one home. But now he's got Scalzo up into that second place. When did Ammon fall down to 7th?
Yeah, Scalzo. Oh, you know what? Ammon, I'm not sure when he fell down to 7th overall. I was going to say Pelichewski made that move down there in turn number 12, got that pass done, but you're right. Did not see where that blue and orange number 26 made their way through. Now, I'm going to guess here again. You see that second car? It's already parked in the gap. I wonder if they simply couldn't fit the other car into that gap. They were trying to, but they couldn't, hence having to go retrieve it.
Yeah, that does make sense. They left it green as long as they could, but now to truly get the car out of the way, they've brought it back onto the flatbed. So that should mean we get at least a fair bit of time of racing left on this one, because they're just going past our commentary booth right there down the main straight as our safety car leads them. Even more temperature management there on the cars, weaving back and forth to try and scrub those tires.
And trust me, it is hot inside the race car. I think we were talking about this a little bit earlier, Ashley. You know, when it's green flag, you've got adrenaline. You've got focus on exactly what you need to do. But when we're putting around under safety car conditions, it just seems to heat soak the driver.
No, absolutely. Your adrenaline certainly covers a lot of outside distractions and keeps you focused. So during a full course yellow, it's really important that you're still trying to keep your brain alive and awake, because certainly with that heat just kind of roasting your brain inside your helmet, it's easy to sort of start to feel a little bit woozy. So these drivers with the weaving back and forth, sometimes that helps as well, just keeping your senses with good reaction and nice and awake.
And we've been talking about ambient temperatures. We've been talking about in-cockpit temperatures. And I'm going to add another layer to it, literally, right? The drivers are wearing driving suits plus long-sleeve Nomex underneath. So imagine being in a sauna that's cranked to 115, 125 degrees. You're not only doing a workout in there, but you are fully dressed in long sleeves, multiple layers, and then not only a physical workout, but your brain has to be working too. You got to be able to spot everything visually. It is just a lot going on with the heat.
Well, hopefully it'll cool down for them soon, because the lights are out on the safety car, so we will be heading back to racing this time by. And we could see that Jens Hansen is ready and raring to go, wanting to try and get away from Lonnie Unser on this restart. Also, you guys have been talking about the temperature. On the track itself, it is now up to 127 Fahrenheit. It's get your eggs and bacon out, Mike, because it's certainly going to be cooking.
I think the worst that I've seen might have been Indianapolis back, would have been 11, 12, 13-ish. It was about 140, 144 degree track temperature. New Jersey Motorsports Park also rings a bell. What about you, Ashley?
Oh, man. I don't know exact temperatures, but I do know at VIR I had a race at over 100 degrees, and my cool shirt stopped working. and started to get some heat stroke. That was a good time. Try not to fall asleep on track.
Well, you're still here. You survived.
I'm still here. I made it.
Really glad for that. And let's hope that these drivers can deal with the Texas heat for another 19 minutes plus 1 lap. Probably going to restart about 18 and a half minutes left to go here, as already letting that pace car get ahead, just get a little bit far away from him. Hansen, having cleaned up some of his gremlins earlier in the season at Sonoma, getting penalties for restarts and starts, seems to have gotten the process down at this stage off of Andretti. This is where he can finally get on the throttle, and now he is off and away as he heads up towards turn 1. Lonnie Unser didn't exactly get the best jump on him, but she hasn't been left behind.
I think that was very well executed from our leader. He simply rolled up to turn number 20, and when he got to the apex, when he could accelerate, he stood on the gas. I saw Lonnie Unser try to get the jump, but she was just not far enough around the corner, so perfectly executed on that restart procedure to give himself some room.
I noticed that Pelichowski was going a little defensive down in the first turn, trying to keep Scalzo from having a chance of sneaking up the inside. You can see in that pink car, he is still leading that Masters category. The orange and blue, that is Elaine Scalzo, who is still chasing behind. Now we're on board with Bill Pelichowski, who trails behind Anna Checki.
Here we see the drivers really take advantage of that right side curbing and then up and over the hill to the left. Had a nice little acceleration phase on Anna Checki directly in front of him, but in my opinion, a little bit too far back to make a big-time lunge, and you see Anna kind of just move half a car width over. I wouldn't call that a defensive line. She's just trying to tell Bill, you know what, you're not close enough. Don't make a move right here.
Yeah, he actually had a really good run there out of turn 8, and then in turn 9 he had to crack out of the throttle a little bit to not run into the back of her. So he definitely has the pace. So he's going to try to get by her, I'm sure, with Scalzo right behind.
I found it interesting that I could actually see some of the mirror on the inside of that shot of Bill's car, and he's filling the mirrors of Anna Checki, who wants to turn into the corner but has to stop and let him through. Another decisive move from Bill Pelichowski. We saw that a little bit earlier. He made that kind of attack.
That same move in the same area of the racetrack. He's very confident going to that brake pedal pressure, especially off of that top speed section on that back straightaway. So we saw him pass Ammon. Now we see him pass Anna Checki out there. And importantly, Scalzo's got to get by that white and blue number 27 if he wants to fight with Pelichowski.
That definitely felt like a very important move from the Nerds car right there. So Scalzo now sizes up Anna Checki to try and see if he can also get by, not allow his rival to run away and get his first win of the season here in the 5th race of 2025.
I also want to point out Erica Hoffman is doing a great job here. She's running with that front pack, and I'm sure now she's got her eyes set on Anna Checki, who's starting to get a bit closer to her, so that would be a battle for 4th place.
Scalzo diving down the inside. The 26 gets by her in the brake zone, but what about on the exit? That's not going to work, I don't think. Checki's back through.
She's learning, though. Look at how much room she gave her competitor on the exit. She knew that he was to the outside, but wasn't quite sure where, so she left plenty of room for him to rejoin onto the racetrack. We've seen Pelichowski really aggressive on that brake pedal in turn 12, really aggressive in turn number 1 as well.
Well, that was Scalzo making that move, up into there. Trying the same move, but not quite to the same effectiveness that I think Bill has figured out how to make that one stick. Kind of surprised that Ammon wasn't there to try to pick up the pieces, because he's still right behind Scalzo.
So they all come up and over the hill here. Got to find those momentum runs. And like you said, Pelichowski already up and through. And I was noticing, setting some pretty good sector times himself, was able to kind of gap it out over Anna Checki. So he doesn't have to worry about her in the mirror. And like you said, Ashley, Erica Hoffman doing a terrific job. If anything, Erica is starting to really apply the pressure to the back of Dan Ammon.
Yeah, this is her first time to this racetrack, as well as Anna. So both of these drivers doing a great job running in the front pack. And yeah, Ammon definitely got Scalzo on his eye set here. He's trying to get by him for 2nd place.
Just an update on the incident on lap 1. It says no further action between the Kerr and Bonderson cars, as they've decided there's nobody at fault on that one. It's hard sometimes in that lap 1, turn 1 little crunch zone that they've got. A lot of that exit there for Pelichowski as he tries to launch the car out of 15 to get himself away from Anna Checki continue to solidify the lead to this race. All that is done with them, though, is allow both Hansen and Unser to also run away. With very few laps under green since the restart, they've already distanced themselves by about 2.5 seconds.
So just an observation from my nerdy technical brain over here watching race cars. We've been seeing those GT3 Cup cars out on the track earlier, and of course these are the Cayman GT4 chassis cars. Remember, those Cup cars, engine all the way in the back. These Caymans kind of more in the middle. They're truly considered a mid-engine car. Scalzo, once again, maybe taking a lunge, or at least a look on Anna Czecki. But I don't see these cars really sliding around nearly as much as the GT3 Cup cars. It seems like the balance on the Cayman, especially in the heat, very manageable for these drivers.
That's an excellent point. Yeah, at least in these early stages, we haven't seen a whole lot of sliding around. Drivers doing a very good job trying to keep the rubber on their tires, and Scalzo already trying to see if he can get back up on Anna Czecki. This is for 4th overall, but it's for him to try and keep himself from being separated with Bill Pelichowski, who is the leader in his class, just up the road. Look at all behind them, though. That is very nose-to-tail racing in the mid-pack.
Yeah, I think that's Ammon, Hoffman, Kopczynski, and then also Asplund back there, all kind of in that line now, rounding through turn number 11 down here at the very, very far end of Circuit of the Americas. That's as far as we get away from our broadcast booth down here, and then they start to kind of find their way back in towards the paddock sections through here, coming up to turn number 12. This is where we've seen a lot of those deep break zone passes.
I think we'll get any here, at least between Anna and Elaine, so they'll stay in order, single file coming into the stadium section. Time to be gained and certainly time to be lost through here, Ashley.
Yeah, this is definitely a very delicate balance with what you're doing behind the wheel here through this section. And you can see there's a lot of varying lines, especially through this corner number 15. You can take a more defensive line or go a little bit wider on the entry and get a good exit coming off. It really just depends on the driving style and where you are compared to other cars.
Down through the triple apexer and then switching back into 19. Once again, we see them head towards Andretti corner, a little bit wide there for Scalzo. Let's jump back in with Lonnie Unser once again. 2nd place, still within 1 second, making sure to force Jens Hansen to not rest on his laurels. He has to keep putting in good laps.
Hansen is frustratingly close for Lonnie Unser right now. That last time was her personal best, a 2:17.4. The only problem is Jens Hansen laid down a 2:17.3. So when we talk about those performance differences, there is not much separating this number 4 from the number 12. And once again, look at how aggressive she is up and through sector number 1. Balance the car here along this long right-hander, a little bit of counter steer as she tried to roll onto the throttle a little bit there, and then now you really have to slow down the car. How much does she kind of cheat the right side of this racetrack? Perfectly executed and on the racing line, and that allows her to stand on the gas up and over the top of the hill.
Yeah, this is actually a great angle because even though she's driving aggressively, she's also very calm behind the wheel, and I think that's so important when you're trying to go for that win, to stay cool, calm, and collected so that you can be there at the end of the race.
So far, it has been working, but it seems like it is small margins between them to decide this one. They've been pretty evenly paced evenly matched, we should say, from the start of this weekend, with Lonnie making sure that Jens Hansen doesn't make any sort of errors. But that's what fascinates me about the battle between these two, is that we haven't really seen them get side by side much, Joey. It's been down to just both of them pushing like the Dickens up at the front.
And it almost seems like when Jens lays down one sector, Lonnie lays down the next, and then it just kind of flip-flops back and forth. And what we saw a little bit earlier, I think it was Hansen that was struggling in Sector 1 a little bit, and Lonnie was really kind of charging up through Sector 2. But to Ashley's point, she seems very calm and very comfortable inside that race car. She actually laid down her fastest Sector 1 this lap time by, so maybe everything just starting to click inside that cockpit.
It seems like she's got it well under control at this stage. Just needs to get that track position. Less than 10 minutes plus a lap to go in this race. We watch them cross the finish line and start yet another lap. Man, I mean, look at the gap from this long shot that even in this angle right now, we can't even see Pelichowski back there, about 6 seconds behind. And will we see him, Pierre, just finally peeking into the shot up at the very top there, continuing to run in third overall.
Yeah, it's a big train of cars essentially behind Pelichowski, but he is setting the pace of all of them right now. Checking back in with our leaders, it seems like Hansen was actually able to grow that gap just a touch here this time in Sector 1, so maybe just off an apex a little bit for that number 4, gather it back up. I think she's been very confident through this section. I think that she's been able to place the car very well, get on the gas, and that's not always easy when you come up and over a blind crest.
This will definitely help Lonnie in the championship hunt as well. She's currently sitting in 4th, but it's because of the results she had at Sonoma that kind of put her on the back foot a little bit. That said, she's only 10 points behind Anna Checki, who sits 2nd in the championship. And Anna has only been off the podium once, so it's really been the consistency of Anna Checki that has allowed her to be relatively close to Jens Hansen despite his speed.
I'm going to knock on some wood over here because we still got 8 minutes plus a lap, but this is a redemption run for this white and purple number 4. Remember, she has not had a good string of races recently, going all the way back to Sonoma and then also race number 1 here earlier this morning with a little bit of a technical problem in the car. So fingers crossed, everything works out and she kind of regains all of that momentum on the racetrack.
Could certainly use a little bit of good luck here, at least a change of fortune to help her along, because she's been doing fantastically so far this season. Just seems like stuff just doesn't go her way for one reason or another out on track. At least she's showing that she can do it. Down through turn 19, stays at that roughly 1 second behind that it has been almost the entire race so far between the pair of them. In fact, I'm pretty sure it was about that same distance, 1 to 1.5 seconds, the entire last race as well.
It was, and remember what I said about kind of this flip-flop seesaw battle? Hansen was 0.3 faster in Sector 1. Well, guess what? Lonnie was about 0.3 faster in Sector 2 and about 1/4 second faster than in Sector 3. So it really is flip-flopping. And in my opinion, if I'm Lonnie right now, I'm taking notes. How is Hansen actually faster in Sector 1? And can I apply that to my own racing?
We got some action coming up into turn 1, and that is going to be the 86. I think that's Osplund managing to get by on, looks like Tom Kopczynski, and that'll put him into 8th position. Next up on his list, going to be Erica Hoffman.
She's had a terrific run right now, and she's kind of settled into what is that 7th place overall, 4th place in that Cayman Pro-Am class. But she's found a nice little piece of racetrack, about a second behind Dan Ammon, about a 1.5 seconds right in front of that orange number 86 who we just saw make that pass into turn number 1.
So Griff Osplund now looking forward to try and see if he can get at least a position for class, because Tom obviously racing in the Masters category. Tom coming back at him though, down to the braking of turn 11. That might come back to haunt him though, because look at the exit that Osplund got and tries to distance himself from that white machine.
Still relatively close, though, down the back straightaway. I think if you want to force an issue, you definitely can here into turn number 12, but I don't think that we're going to see a super deep dive out of Kopczynski, that white car with the white wheels following Osplund there, that orange number 86. So I was just noticing, it seems like Lonnie Unser went from 1.2 seconds back to now only 0.4 seconds behind Jens Hansen. So I wonder if there was a mistake out of our leader or if she has just ramped it up even more.
Kopczynski currently just outside the podium right now. He's got to catch up to Ammon if he wants to get back on. Hasn't actually been on the podium since the first round, but he did have a pair of 5th places back at Sonoma with some good consistent results, and this will still improve on that with that 4th place. Checking back in with the lead. It is now suddenly 0.3 seconds between them. Lonnie has found another gear.
Yeah, and it all came in Sector 3 that lap, and once again we see Hansen kind of notice her in that rear view mirror, right? She kind of was approaching, got a little bit closer in the back half of that lap. Hansen definitely took notice, went a little bit defensive into turn number 1, but gets a nice run through turn number 2. And remember, this is the area of the racetrack where we've really seen that black number 12 excel. It's through sector 2 and sector 3 where the purple number 4 is faster.
What I'm loving about this right now is Lonnie has definitely experienced some really tough luck with these last 3 races, and she has not phased at all with her mindset, and I feel like it goes hand in hand with our program that we have at Kelly Moss with the Be Your Own Hero program. Her livery on the car is her superhero, and I feel like right now she is definitely standing up for herself and showing that she is capable of a race win here.
Well, and you were even telling us earlier, Ashley, that you felt like that was one of her strengths, was her mental game out on the racetrack. I think that this is a real testament to that right here.
No, absolutely. I mean, how gutting is it to, with 2 laps to go, have your car basically shut down on you? So, no, she's doing an amazing job keeping her head in the right space, and that's the formula for a champion.
Just a couple laps left in this one. She's managed to cut the gap down. But it's always one thing to catch a driver. It's another to try and make the pass. Can she find an opening somewhere? Will she find the advantage? Joey, you kept talking about taking those notes. If you were inside the cockpit, where should she go for it?
She's been faster in sector 2 and sector 3, but the problem is there isn't a ton of passing opportunities outside of the back straightaway. A little bit more narrow there in 16, 17, and 18. You saw her kind of creep in that gap there in the first half of that really long triple apex corner. So I'm not sure. I think that if I can get close enough in sector 1, maybe I can use that slipstream down the back straightaway, really focus on the brake zone in turn number 12, and we know how aggressive she can be. So maybe if she can kind of just creep that way closer in the area of the racetrack where she isn't as strong, it will provide her that opportunity where she is faster.
About even on pace that last lap, maybe just a hair slower for Lonnie, but definitely much closer than we've seen her on the previous few laps. Just making sure to fill those mirrors. 2 minutes left on the clock. Then once that hits 0, they will get the white flag next time they cross the line. So it's going to be over pretty soon here for this pair. 10 seconds ahead of Bill Pelichowski.
Yeah, impressive driving from both of these competitors, and we've seen the heat affect some of the other drivers a little bit earlier in the day, and this is that time that you need to be on your game. The heat has affected you the most. We've already been racing for 30 minutes out here, but you got to put it together for another couple, and you can potentially grab a win.
That was a really, really far inside line for Jens that time, up through 8, Ashley. So I don't think I've seen him go that far to the right-hand side before.
Yeah,
this.
he had a little bit of a slide in the corner prior to that, which put him and his car closer to the inside into the next corner. So I think this race is ultimately going to come down to whoever makes a mistake and who's going to capitalize on it.
No doubt. So far, we've just seen tiny little ones from both of them here and there. Although I do feel like maybe we've seen a bit more moments from Jens Hansen over the course of this weekend. He just seems to manage it whenever they do happen.
Yeah, she ran a little bit deep there in turn number 12. I don't think she gave up a ton of time, but maybe a tenth and a half, and she actually reels it right back in through that 13 and 14 complex, kind of opens up the radius of 15 right here, but Hansen does a nice job himself to kind of accelerate off the corner. This is where she was a little bit narrower that last lap, right on the racing line this time, so can't really close it in that little bit more. And now we look down towards turn number 19. We see our leader all the way over to the right side of the track. Then Lonnie hustles it over there herself. Perfectly executed, honestly, if I must say.
2 to go at the line. We'll have just about an extra lap here as it's quite close. We cross the timing line, 13 seconds on the clock, so they will get the white flag next time by the way, that battle for the Masters lead, Pelichowski just seems to have it well in his control. He is still up at the front, Scalzo separated by Anichecki, who is on the podium for the Pro-Ams.
I got to ask you, Ashley, because I love these in-car shots, but it provides a ton of data. Are you picking up anything that she's doing?
No, absolutely. I mean, the biggest thing for me is, like I mentioned earlier, is just her posture as she's driving around here. She's definitely driving with confidence, which makes such a big difference in terms of your mental game and also how you're driving the car and how you're attacking these corners. She's super delicate with the throttle as well, which is so key in these hot conditions, this track is definitely really, really challenging right now, and she's just doing a really nice job maintaining.
I noticed that too, the application of the throttle. You don't want to just stand on the gas. You can actually break loose those rear tires and kind of cause a loose condition coming out of the corner. She does an excellent job to roll onto the throttle. And I also noticed she never came off of the throttle. Once she started applying the throttle, she gradually went to 100%. That's exactly what you want to see. The car likes being calm and being treated like that.
I also like that she's not following exactly what Jens is doing, because Jens is definitely looking in his mirrors. I see sort of creeping to these apexes a little early, and for Lonnie, she needs to get a good exit out of the corner so that she can attack in the next break zone. So I love that she's also driving her own car, and if I was Jens, I would stop looking in my mirrors and just focus forward, because she is ready to pounce.
What an absolute chess match this has been. Will it be a stalemate, or are we going to see Lonnie Unser be able to go checkmate here today? As that's another great exit coming off of turn 15, but it's just not a long enough straight. She's going to try to duck underneath, but I don't think that's going to work right there. The white flag awaits them as they come around the last few corners. Lonnie Unser is as close as she's been all race long.
I think I've seen that move out of a driver named Max Verstappen going to the inside of that triple apex right-hander, but she learned from that. She did not make that move. She did not go off the track limits. Around turn number 20, there is the white flag, 1 lap to go.
That was a really good exit. She's very close coming down the main straight up into Big Red. Will she send it into turn 1? Will Hansen even try to defend? Yeah, he is going to turn in very, very early. This could open himself up on the corner exit depending on what he can do off the turn. No, he has managed it. The 4 still can't get by.
I really liked what she did going into turn number 1. She wasn't going to make the move, but she kind of hinted at it, just kind of moved the car over to the left, and you saw Hansen just kind of move back, just trying to defend turn number 1, but it's all going to come down to what I think is the back straightaway.
Certainly, and she was pretty good last time out, but she needs to be closer. She was closer, I feel like, last lap coming onto the back straightaway. Can she make up that time here through this sector, taking a lot of that inside curb over 9, and now down through 10 into 11. It's still a ways back as they head towards the braking zone.
I don't think she can kind of pull the fake going into turn number 11. It's all going to be rolling on the gas. Oh, a little bit of a hesitation. She tried to jump on that throttle as early as she possibly could. Had to come off the gas just a little bit, but this turn 12 brake zone, I don't see her quite being close enough.
Jens now starting to pull the snake out as he's trying to weave back and forth to break that slipstream, just not give her anything. Down into the braking here at turn 12. She's definitely not close enough. Ashley, is there anything left for her in these last few corners?
Oh man, you just never know. If Jens just gets a little bit of a slide, she is still right there to make an opportunity out of it. So anything can happen. The race is not over yet.
Hansen been soaking up this pressure, doing a fantastic job of dealing with Lonnie Unser, just staying so close every inch of this race. He's got maybe a car's length between himself and the number 4 here at the end of the race. He has to hit every single mark all the way to the finish line. They're coming up to turn 19. This is one that can throw you off, offer an opportunity into Andretti. And Lonnie is there. She's close. If she wants to dive for it, she could have a go, and she just half-heartedly thinks of it, but decides it's better to bring home the points. Jens Hansen is going to take the win here in race number 2 in the Caymans.
By a quarter of a second, and then you see this massive 13-second gap back to Pelichowski. I mean, talk about a good race from Jens Hansen to execute, come away with the win. Lonnie Unser herself, and of course, Bill Pelichowski coming away with that Cayman Masterclass victory.
From a 17th place finish in the first race to no races to a win. Of course, I'll have to check to see where he finished in race 1, but still an incredible rebound from Pelichowski. Scalzo and Ammon also getting themselves nice podiums today. Anna taking her 4th podium in 5 races.
And if you don't think that Lonnie Unser was pushing it on that last lap, I'm comparing it to her fastest lap, only a quarter of a second off of the fastest lap she turned.
Wow. Also, correction for myself, that was the 5th podium in 6 races for Anna Czecki, so an even better result for her as the last of them make their way across the line, just waiting on Rizzo, Tartaglione, Edu, Bonderson, well, and Bonderson and Kerr, obviously, out of this race. after. Who is this? Crawling their way to the line. Is that Rizzo?
I'm not sure which car that is. I think
that is Rizzo.
I think it was a BGB car, at least on the side. But yeah, definitely kind of limping across the start-finish line here.
Wonder if he had a spin coming out of turn 19, and thankfully was able to limp it at least to the finish from here. But he lost a spot to Reggie Tartaglione, which is going to wrap up our drivers. And our order sees Jens Hansen with his 4th win, as Lonnie Unser gets another 2nd place, but still an excellent run considering she was a DNF in race number 1. It was Bill Pelichewski who was our winner in the Masters. Anna Cecchi on the podium as well for the Pro-Ams. Then Scalzo and Ammon, the rest of your podium for the Masters. 7th overall goes to Griff Osplund. Then you've got Tom Kopczynski in 8th, Greg Cecchi in 9th, and Erica Hoffman in a P10. Bill Finnick will be 11th today. You've got Roland Krines finishing in the 12th spot. Spencer Proper 13th. Reggie Tartaglione 14th. Joe Rizzo 15th. And Khalid Edu finishing in the 16th spot. We'll have more coming up here as the podium ceremonies are coming your way for race number 2 of the Caymans.
It's hard to contain your excitement when you get something you've really wanted. Like the gold standard in automotive protection, WeatherTech floor liners. With deep sculpted channels and laser measured for total protection in the front, back, and even up the sides.
Dad, you're going viral.
What? WeatherTech me.
So don't be shy, enjoy. Order your premium American-made products at WeatherTech.com.
Experience the ultimate thrill, Porsche GT Track Day, where passion meets performance on some of North America's most legendary racetracks. Designed exclusively for Porsche owners, this is your chance to unleash the full potential of your vehicle in a motorsport environment. Drive the same circuits as professional racers, on the same weekend as Porsche Sprint Challenge events. Where will your Porsche take you? With limited space, every Porsche GT Track Day ensures a premium, exclusive experience. You'll get nearly 3 hours of track time, starting with reconnaissance laps, progressing through lead-follow sessions, and culminating in exhilarating open laps. Plus, strap in for heart-pounding hot laps with a professional race driver.
I thought I was fast. Didn't resemble anything that I've ever done.
Beyond the track, immerse yourself in VIP hospitality, premium viewing areas, and exclusive paddock access where you can witness Porsche Sprint Challenge teams in action. Spots are limited. Scan the QR code now to reserve your place at Porsche GT Track Day.
Tell me what you gon' do to me. Confrontation ain't nothing new to me. You could bring a bullet, bring a sword, bring a morgue, but you can't bring the truth to me. Fuck you and all your expectations. I don't even want your congratulations. I recognize your false confidence and calculated promises all in your conversation. I hate people that feel entitled. Look at me crazy cause I ain't invite you. Oh, you important, you the moral to the story. You endorsing, motherfucker, I don't even like you. Corrupt a man's heart with a gift. That's how you find out who you dealing with. A small percentage you I'm building with. I want the credit if I'm losing or I'm winning. On my mama, that's the realest shit.
Let's talk about love. Easy, anything and everything you offer. I never feel it hard. I never feel it hard.
Cause maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer. Cause maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer. Skin cold when the ego gets to talking. I get involved like a rebound. Got no ink.
Race number 2 for the Porsche Sprint Challenge North America Cayman Series has wrapped up. So it's time for our podium ceremonies. We're going to start off with the Cayman Masters. Finishing in third, driving the 91, it was Dan Ammon. Finishing second today, driving the number 26, Elaine Scalzo.
No matter where you're from, all around the world, you like that.
And our winner today, bouncing back after a unfortunate accident, race 1, number 62, Bill Pelichowski.
All right, Bill. Congratulations on your win today. I know you've had quite a few ups and downs this season. It must feel good to stand at the top step.
Yeah, it's really good to be back here, and I just want to thank Kelly Moss and my coaches, Robin Liddell and Andrew Davis for all the coaching, and it's been a great weekend so far. So we'll see. Tomorrow's another day.
No, great job. And what was your mindset out there today? It's definitely super hot.
ultimately, I wanted to get a little gap from Alan, so he's very quick, and then obviously my friend over here to the left. So the reality is, took a little passing, but I knew that if I did it well, I can keep it, and then keeping your head down. So it's good.
All right, nice job.
It's time for the champagne! The Cayman Masters Podium, ladies and gentlemen. An awesome job considering the heat that they've been through. Impressive 2 races in one day. And now it's time for the Good Boy Vodka Fastest Lap Award. Driving the number 12. This one goes to Jens Hansen. Fastest lap of the race for Jens. Big congratulations for bringing that one home in race number 2. Now it's time for the Cayman Pro-Ams. Finishing 3rd with 5 podiums out of 6 races, the 27 of Anna Checki. Finishing 2nd today, it's the number 4 of Lonnie Unser. And an amazing show of stalwart standing up to pressure. The winner was the number 12 of Jens Hansen.
Wow, that was quite the race you guys had there. We were on the edge of our seats in the timing booth. I'm sure all of you guys were. Explain your mindset through that whole race.
Well, I was just trying to be quicker into the big braking zones, and luckily I had a little bit of a gap going into one, and I was just trying to keep her behind me, elbows out, and stay focused.
You did a great job of that for sure. Lonnie was putting on the pressure. How does this affect the rest of your championship? What is your mindset going on from here?
Just to keep the long-term goals ahead and stay focused on the next race.
All right, awesome. Congratulations.
And now the drivers get to enjoy themselves with some champagne! Again, congratulations to the Cayman Pro-Am Podium finishers. We got one more race coming up later today with the USA West Series here in Porsche Sprint Challenge.